Vote Martin Van Buren in the upcoming 1836 election. The little magician grew up in Kinderhook, New York, in a middle-class family. He understands the needs of the common man and is a true American. He will protect individual rights, unlike the Whigs, who don't care about the people. The Whigs will expand the federal government and support only the rich industrialists and planters. As Jackson's hand-picked successor in the Democratic Party, Van Buren will provide aid for the common man and uphold Jacksonian policies. Van Buren believes in a strict interpretation of the Constitution and is against the expansion of the power of the federal government. He opposes federal-funded internal improvement projects, leaving such matters up to the state jurisdiction. His plans for maintaining a small federal government would include reduced protective duties, limits on congressional appropriations of funds, and protections on privacy. Van Buren is pro-states' rights and wants to keep as much power in the hands of the states as possible. He is opposed to overstepping his constitutional boundaries and wants to let the states regulate their own interests without interference from the tyrannical central government. While allowing the states their due amount of independence and respect, Van Buren in no way supports the nullification movement and will strongly uphold the supremacy of the federal government. Van Buren will be a strong leader in both domestic and foreign affairs. He has already negotiated treaties with Britain, the Ottoman Empire, and France, as well as expanded the American presence in the British economy. His caution in foreign affairs makes him a strong leader because he won't plunge the country into unwanted and unnecessary disputes. Van Buren, just like Jackson, opposes the federal bank and considers it a corrupting institution. He promises to uphold Jackson's anti-bank policies, but also reform them to create an incorporable home for the nation's wealth, outside of the highly political sphere of a national bank and pet banks. Van Buren also promises that slavery will not be touched when he becomes the president. He is anti-abolition and believes that it is the state's duty, not the federal government's, to decide whether or not slavery is legal. Van Buren believes that the federal government cannot dictate where slavery can or cannot exist, nor can it interfere with it in places where it already exists. At the age of 14, Martin Van Buren was a law clerk and worked his way through the government from there. He has served his country in many capacities, including being New York State Senator, New York Attorney General, U.S. Senator, Governor of New York, U.S. Secretary of State, American Minister to England, and Vice President of the United States. Having worked within the government in so many positions, Van Buren has the best interests of the entire country in mind, not just his own state. He knows the inner workings of each section of the government and is the most qualified to lead this country. Vote for Van Buren to protect the productive members of the country from the corporate non-producers. A vote for Van Buren is a vote for liberty.